Hi all, welcome back to C++ tutorial on Tute Fulcrum. This session is on the friend functions in C++ programming language. Data hiding is a fundamental concept of object-oriented programming. So what is this data hiding? It restricts the accessibility of private members from outside of the class. Similarly, the protected members can only be accessed by derived classes and are inaccessible from outside. However, there is a feature in C++ programming language called as friend functions that break this rule and allows to access member functions from outside the class. So, the friend function has the privilege to access the private and protected data of a class. So, how do we write this friend function? Let's have a look at the syntax. So, the declaration of the friend function should be done inside the class using the keyword friend, and the definition for the same should be provided outside of the class. Let's take an example. So I have created a class distance and it has a data member meter which is private. So we have seen this in detail that private entities cannot be accessed outside of the class. The accessibility is restricted only to the members of the class. Then I have added a default constructor to the class which is initializing the data member meter to a value 10. Now I have a non-member function add meter. So this add meter function, what it does is it's trying to access the data member of the class. So the argument to this member function is an object. So when I say distance d is an object to the class distance, and through this object you will be able to access the members of the class. So inside this non-member function add meter, I have added this d.meter equal to d.meter plus 10. That is, I am trying to access the private entity of the class from outside of the class through a non-member function. I am trying to access and modify the same. So we know that this is not permitted. So if you run this code, for sure you're going to end up with an error message saying meter is a private entity. We have seen this before. So within the main function, I have created an object d, and this d is passed when I invoke the add meter function. So let me run this and show you. It's going to end up with an error saying that meter is a private member of the class wherein you won't be able to access the same from outside of the class. So let's run this and verify it. So as expected, you could see error here. So in line number 16, it's showing error. So as well in 6, int distance meter is private. This means that meter, the data member of the class, is a private entity. So you cannot access the same from outside of the class. So here comes the role of a friend function. So what if I make this add meter function as a friend of my class distance? So as per the definition, a friend function will be able to access the private and protected members of a class. So we are going to make this add meter function as a friend function of our class distance. So how do we make this as a friend function? The declaration or the prototype of the friend function should be done inside the class. And how do we do that? So first you need to use the keyword friend. Then specify the return type of the function. It's void here. And what is our function name? Add meter. And then the argument. The argument is an object. So I'll just specify the class name here because this is the prototype of the function. So now if you run this code, this error will be fixed because the add meter function is now a friend of our class, and the friend function has the privilege to access the private and protected members of the class. So through this friend function, I am accessing meter, the private member of the class. I am modifying the value as well. So what will be the output if you run this code? So the moment you created your object here, it is invoking the default constructor. So the default constructor is initializing the data member meter with a value 10. So after that, the next statement is invoking the friend function, add meter of D. So this D is passed here, received to the object D here. So with respect to this object, when you say D dot meter, it has the value 10. So again, D dot meter plus 10 means 10 plus 10, 20. The updated value for the data member meter will be now 20. So if you print the same, your output will be 20. Let's verify our output. So as expected, we are getting the output as 20. So this is about the friend function. So friend function, though it's a non-member function of your class, it has the privilege to access the private and protected members of a class. So protected access specifier we'll discuss in detail when we deal with the topic inheritance. So same like friend function, we have friend classes as well, which we will discuss in the next session. So keep watching. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe, and please don't forget to tap the bell icon. You'll get notified whenever we upload a new videos. Thank you.